Have you ever wondered who the most influential kings of the Renaissance era were? A period of profound cultural rebirth, the Renaissance era was a time when humanity dared to dream, to question, and to create like never before. This epoch, spanning the 14th to the 17th century, was characterized by a surge of interest in the classical learning and values of ancient Greece and Rome. Now, among the myriad of figures who left their mark on this era, some of the most fascinating were the kings. These rulers were not only the political leaders of their time, but also patrons of the arts, culture, and science. Their influence extended beyond their realms, shaping the course of history. Our list of the top 10 kings of this era is based on their impact on their country, their contribution to the arts, culture, and science, and their lasting legacy. Without further ado, let's dive into the world of Renaissance royalty. Starting our countdown, at number 10 we have King Louis XIV of France. Ascending to the throne in the mid-15th century, Louis XV played a pivotal role in shaping the France we know today. His reign, marked by political cunning and strategic alliances, contributed significantly to the centralization of the French state. Louis II had a knack for weaving intricate webs of diplomacy, earning him the nickname the Spider King. He utilized these skills to subdue powerful nobles, strengthen royal authority, and foster economic prosperity. His reign saw the dissolution of feudalism, the rise of commerce, and the birth of a united France. But don't be fooled by the nickname. The Spider King was no villain. His reign was one of prosperity and growth, a time when France began to emerge as a leading European power. Louis XIV, a canny and manipulative ruler, truly left his mark on France. Next up, at number 9, is King Edward IV of England. A king of many contrasts, Edward's reign was marked by two non-consecutive periods. His first reign, from 1461 to 1470, was a tumultuous time as he found himself embroiled in the Wars of the Roses, a series of civil wars for control of the English throne. However, it's his second reign, from 1471 to 1483, that truly sets him apart. During this period, Edward focused on restoring stability and prosperity to England. He implemented economic reforms, promoted trade, and fostered a sense of peace after years of conflict. His reign was characterized by a revival in the arts and literature, reflecting the Renaissance spirit in full bloom. Edward IV, a king who knew both victory and defeat, truly embodied the spirit of the Renaissance. At number 8 we have King Matthias Corvinus of Hungary. Born in the mid-15th century, this king is best remembered for his reign that was characterized by a fervent patronage of the arts and sciences. His court in Buda was a bustling hub of activity, attracting scholars, artists, and philosophers from across Europe. His passion for knowledge led to the creation of the Bibliotheca Corviniana, considered one of the greatest libraries of the Renaissance world. But Matthias Corvinus was not just a patron of culture, he was also a shrewd political leader. His military campaigns expanded Hungary's territories, and his diplomatic skills helped maintain peace with the Ottoman Empire. His efforts transformed Hungary, turning it into a shining beacon of the Renaissance in the East. His reign was more than just a period of prosperity. It was a time when Hungary stood shoulder to shoulder with the great powers of Europe, its voice echoing in the corridors of power. Matthias Corvinus, a true Renaissance king, left a lasting legacy in Hungary. 7th on our list is King Charles VIII of France. Known for his charismatic persona, Charles ascended to the throne at the tender age of 13 in the year 1483. His reign, albeit short, was marked by the audacious invasion of Italy, a move that would forever change the landscape of European politics. Charles VIII, driven by a vision of a united Christendom, led a massive French army through the Alps and into the heart of Italy. His military campaign was both bold and at times recklessly ambitious, but it initiated the Italian Wars and marked the beginning of France's aggressive foreign policy. His invasion of Italy also had a ripple effect on the cultural exchange between Italy and France, introducing the Italian Renaissance to the French court. Despite his early demise, Charles VIII's influence was far-reaching, shaping not just France, but the entire European continent. Charles VIII, despite his short reign, had a profound impact on the course of European history. Number 6 on our list is King James IV of Scotland. This monarch, known for his charisma and love for his people, ascended to the throne at the tender age of 15. His reign, which spanned 25 years, was marked by his tireless efforts to modernise Scotland both politically and culturally. James IV was a true Renaissance king. He championed education, patronised the arts, and even learned several languages. He also had a keen interest in science, particularly shipbuilding and navigation. Under his rule, Scotland saw the construction of the Great Michael, one of the largest ships of its time. But his reign was not without strife. His ambitious attempt to claim the English throne ended tragically in the Battle of Flodden in 1513. Leading his troops into battle, James IV was killed, marking the end of an era for Scotland. James IV, a king who sought progress and faced a tragic end, played a pivotal role in Scotland's history. At number 5, we have King Henry VII of England. A king of many firsts, Henry VII's reign marks a significant turning point in English history. Ascending the throne in 1485 after his victory at the Battle of Bosworth Field, he put an end to the bloody Wars of the Roses. This conflict between the houses of Lancaster and York had torn England apart, and Henry's triumph brought much-needed stability. But his victory wasn't just about ending a war. It was about starting a dynasty, the Tudor dynasty to be exact. Henry VII's reign laid the foundations for one of the most famous royal houses in history, setting the stage for the reigns of his children, notably Henry VIII and Elizabeth I. Henry VII's reign was one of rebirth and renewal, a time when England began to emerge from the shadow of civil war and step into a new era of prosperity and power. Henry VII, the founder of the Tudor dynasty, brought a new era to England. 4th on our list is King Ferdinand II of Aragon. Reigning from 1479 until his death in 1516, Ferdinand II was a key figure of the Renaissance era. His rule was characterized by strategic political maneuvers, including his iconic marriage to Queen Isabella of Castile. This union effectively unified Spain under one crown, marking a significant turning point in European history. Their joint reign was a period of momentous change. They implemented the infamous Alhambra Decree in 1492, which led to the expulsion of Jews from Spain. This decision had profound implications, reshaping the religious and cultural landscape of the nation. Around the same time, another monumental event occurred. Christopher Columbus, sponsored by Ferdinand and Isabella, set sail and discovered America. This sparked the Age of Discovery, transforming Spain into a global superpower. Ferdinand II, a king who changed the face of Spain and the world, truly left his mark on the Renaissance era. Our top 3 begins with King Francis I of France, a monarch who sat on the throne from 1515 to 1547. Francis I was not just a king, but a patron of arts, a lover of Renaissance ideals. He established the French language in his court and government, replacing Latin, and attracted artists like Leonardo da Vinci to his court. Francis I's reign wasn't all about art and culture, though. He was engaged in a bitter rivalry with Charles V, the Holy Roman Emperor, leading to a series of conflicts known as the Habsburg-Valois Wars. His role in the Protestant Reformation was also significant, as his policies often veered between persecution and protection of the Protestants. Francis I, a king known for his love of the arts and his tumultuous reign, left a lasting legacy in France and beyond. His influence on French culture and politics set the stage for the nation's future. Our runner-up, at number 2, is Charles V, Holy Roman Emperor. Born in the Low Countries to the Habsburg dynasty, Charles V became one of the most powerful monarchs in history, ruling over an empire that stretched across Europe and the Americas. His reign, which lasted from 1515 to 1556, was marked by constant conflict and power struggles. Charles V's reign was defined by his rivalry with Francis I of France and his battles against the Ottoman Empire. Despite these challenges, Charles V managed to expand his empire, bringing vast territories under his rule. Yet his reign was not without its trials. His conflicts with Francis I and the Ottoman Empire strained his resources, leading him to abdicate in 1556. Charles V, a king who ruled an empire on which the sun never set, was a key figure of the Renaissance era. His rule, marked by conflict and expansion, left an indelible mark on the history of Europe. And finally, at number 1, we have King Henry VIII of England. Known as much for his tumultuous personal life as his rule, Henry VIII's reign was a period of significant change. He ascended the throne in 1509, and what followed was a reign marked by political and religious upheaval. Henry VIII is perhaps most famous for his 6 marriages, a series of unions and disunions that caused scandal both at home and abroad. However, it was his break with the Roman Catholic Church that truly marked a turning point in his rule, and indeed in the course of European history. In a bold move to secure his divorce from Catherine of Aragon, Henry VIII established the Church of England, forever severing ties with the papacy in Rome. This move not only reshaped the religious landscape of England, but also asserted the king's supreme authority. Henry VIII, a king whose personal life often overshadowed his rule, nonetheless had a profound impact on England and the course of European history. And there you have it, the top 10 kings of the Renaissance era, from Louis XV of France, who laid the groundwork for French absolutism, to the notorious Henry VIII of England, whose reign changed the course of England's religious history. We've journeyed through the lives of remarkable monarchs like Matthias Corvinus of Hungary, who fostered a cultural and intellectual renaissance in his kingdom, and Ferdinand II of Aragon, who unified Spain and sponsored the historic journey of Christopher Columbus. We've seen the influence of Francis I, who brought the French Renaissance to its peak, and Charles V, the Holy Roman Emperor, who ruled over an empire where the sun never set. Each of these kings left an indelible mark on their countries and the broader Renaissance era. Their stories remind us of the power of leadership and the profound impact of individual decisions on the course of history. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Until next time, keep exploring history.